So, in another video, I said I had to read a book for English, and it's called Night by Elie Wiesel. And I was complaining about reading it, but I have to say it was a phenomenal book, and I honestly would recommend this to anyone. Beware, it is probably the saddest book you will ever read in your entire life, because it is true, and it's about a boy in the Holocaust, and it made me cry like a million times. But the most thing that stuck out to me in this book was, in the story he describes this boy Elie. He's only 15, and he describes his father as a not very sentimental man. He wasn't big on family, but the entire book, him and his father, they try to stay together, and that's what keeps them going, each other, and the love between them. He didn't really say, but his actions and his words, and this is, I have two parts if anyone wants to listen. It was so sad, but here, I've been reading all these things to my mom, like a million pages, but here are two parts that, just the love between them, oh my god, it killed me. But okay. Selection is when the officers made them line up, and some people got to go on, the strong ones, and the weak ones got to be sent to be cremated alive. They burned them to death in like a giant chimney. So just okay. On the third day at dawn, we were driven out of the barrack. We threw blankets over our shoulders like prayer shawls. We were directed to a gate that divided the camp into two. A group of SS officers stood waiting. A word flew through our ranks: selection. The SS officers were doing the selection, the weak to the left, those who walked well to the right. My father was sent to the left. I ran after him. An SS officer shouted at my back, "Come back!" I inched my way through the crowd. Several SS men rushed to find me, creating such confusion that a number of people were able to switch over to the right, among them my father and I. And I know that's such a short little part, but oh god, I just love it how he runs after his dad, because his dad was sent to the other side, and then they're both able to come over. So that was one part, and this was another part. They've been on a train for a very long time, and it's freezing. There's snow everywhere, and they have no clothes, and they haven't had any food. I tried to distinguish between the living and those who were no more, but there was barely a difference. My gaze remained fixed on someone who, eyes wide open, stared into space. His colorless face was covered with a layer of frost and snow. My father had huddled near me, draped in his blanket, shoulders laden with snow. And what if he were dead as well? I called out to him. No response. I would have screamed if I could have. He was not moving. Suddenly, the evidence overwhelmed me. There was no longer any reason to live, any reason to fight. The train stopped in an empty field. The abrupt halt had awakened a few sleepers. They stood, looking around, startled. Outside, the SS walked by, shouting, "Throw all the dead out!" The living were glad. They would have more room. Volunteers began the task. They touched those who remained on the ground. "Here's one, take him." The volunteers undressed him and eagerly shared his garments. Then two grave diggers grabbed him by the head and feet and threw him out from the wagon like a sack of flour. There was shouting all around. "Come on, here's another, my neighbor, he's not moving." I woke from my apathy only when two men approached my father. I threw myself on his body. He was cold. I slapped him. I rubbed his hands, crying, Father, wake up, they're going to throw you outside." His body remained inert. The two gravediggers grabbed me by the neck. "Leave him alone. Can't you see that he's dead?" "No," I yelled. "He's not dead, not yet." And I started to hit him harder and harder. At last my father half opened his eyes. They were glassy. He was breathing faintly. "You see," I cried. The two men went away. Oh my god, that just makes me so sad when I'm like reading it. But yeah, so it's I just felt I should share that if anybody's watching this blog still. But it's really an amazing book, and I love it, and there's not many books that can make me cry, but this definitely did the trick in like a million different parts. So I highly recommend it, and it's a really good book, and okay, that's all I'm going to say.